let's see what else. I feel like I'm just throwing out so much. There was really no plan other than to make a 6-month update on what it's like to be a medical massage therapist, because I know that a lot of you are curious on where there is growth. I know that I absolutely was. I'm like, man, I like a lot of growth. I want to reach as high as I can and get as high as I can. And so I knew that this opportunity would help me achieve that. And it really has. This year, 2023, has been crazy because I have let go of a lot. One being that job, or anything that was no longer serving me and that I did not want to do. And what's crazy is it's made room for the things that I do want to do. All right, so welcome back. I am gonna get a drink of coffee. I'm gonna get a drink of coffee because this is warm, and y'all know how it is with coffee where like that it'll be cold, especially without a lid. All right, so this is going to be my update for 6 months out of being a medical massage therapist and what I have learned in those 6 months. Now, last I spoke to you, I decided to resign from my former position as an instructor for massage therapy, and I decided to go into medical massage therapy. And I love it, but it is a lot of work and it is a challenge. And I think that's why I love it so much, is because I like a challenge. And what was happening with being an instructor is I already had been there 3.5 years, and I was already getting to that point where I was feeling stuck. And I did start going towards YouTube, and I started branching out and getting a wider audience, and that was a little bit of a challenge, but I needed something different because I really did feel stuck. I was happy, I enjoyed it, I loved teaching, and I still do love teaching. I still teach online, and I still do tutoring, and I still work on my Patreon page, but I knew that I needed some growth. And that opportunity presented itself, and I have always been in the medical field. I have worked in outpatient and inpatient settings. I worked in a hospital and I worked in an outpatient clinic. And so it just made sense. Why not try medical massage therapy? And so when that opportunity presented itself, I jumped on it. Holy moly, it is intense. There's no other way to put it around. Okay, so let me tell you why it's intense. Not so much the massage, right? You go to school, you learn how to give a massage. That's kind of the easy part. That's what all of those years of experience of working maybe for somebody else like I did, and you are massaging for them, or working for yourself, or massaging, wherever you're working, you're kind of honing in on your craft. You're learning how to massage. When it comes to medical massage therapy, there's a lot more to it, because now you're having to justify why massage therapy is beneficial for this client. And so that means you're having to do a lot more paperwork. You know, we learn in school, or I taught in school as well, how to do soap notes. Well, these soap notes are a lot more in-depth and challenging, because now you're having to create goals. If you remember SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, relatable, time-bound, you're having to make those SMART goals, and you're having to then create a treatment plan, and what that response to that treatment plan to perhaps meet those goals or maintain what the clients has already improved. And so that may sound like a little confusing. And what I'm trying to get at is you're basically having to justify why massage therapy is beneficial for this client. And so let me give you an example. Let's say that your client is not able to, let's say that your client is quadriplegic. If you remember, quadriplegic means that you cannot use all 4 of your limbs, right? Maybe they had a spinal cord accident. Something happened where they can no longer use their limbs. Well, perhaps one of your goals could be that your client, you're gonna help them with their circulation, right? So you're gonna, because they can't move their limbs like you and I can. So in order to help them, my goal can be, all right, well, I'm gonna help my client move circulation with massage through their body. Another one can be range of motion. I can help my client keep their range of motion because now they can no longer move their arms, they can no longer move their legs. And so my job as a medical massage therapist is to help them with their circulation as well as help them with their range of motion. And so that kind of gives you an idea of some of the goals a medical massage therapist may have. Now, if you were in school and you loved pathology, you loved kinesiology, you loved client assessment, reassessment, treatment planning, it may be a good idea to consider medical massage therapy. I, for one, love it. I am on my 6-month journey of being a medical massage therapist, and I have so far, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clients. Those 5 clients, not every single one of them is once a week. I'm actually doing, I think, 8 visits a week. And so there's a lot of pros and cons to being a medical massage therapist. One of the pros is once you justify and the state of the insurance approves that medical massage therapy treatment for that particular client, once they approve it, that client is with you for however many episodes are approved, and usually it's about a year. And so I don't have to go find that client or ask them, hey, do you want to get a massage? No, once they're your client, you're good to go for the rest of the week. Now, one of the cons to that is that client is a medical massage therapy client, meaning they may have doctor's appointments. The client may get sick. And so that means that if that client isn't receiving treatment, you are not getting paid for that particular day that was missed. And so that's one of the cons, but one of the pros is that you can expect that client to be with you every single week or however many times a week that you see that client. Let's see, one of the other pros is I enjoy, one of the other pros, and the biggest one that turned me on to it was, one, yes, medical massage therapy. Incredibly passionate about the medical field. But one of them was the pay, right? And so when I was an instructor, in one day I would work the evening class. So the evening class meant that I would work 4.5 hours, sometimes 4 hours. What I would make in one day, I now make in 1 hour of medical massage therapy. Meaning, if I see 2 clients in one day, I have now doubled my daily income. If I see 3 clients in one day, I have now tripled my daily income. Now, bear in mind that there's going to be a little fluctuation because now I am working for myself. I am self-employed and I am contracted through a home health company. That means that at the end of the year, I'm having to pay back taxes. What I don't write off, I'm having to pay those back versus I was an employee and those were already getting withheld from my check. And so that's maybe a little bit of a con for you if maybe taxes are challenging like they are for me. I would encourage you to get a tax specialist or a CPA, certified public accountant, to help you with your taxes and to help you going forward with being self-employed. But the pro of that was now I'm making a lot more money. It doesn't feel like it, I'll be honest, like I'm having to build up my clientele And I also took on some more expenses, which I'm sitting in one of those expenses. And so now I'm just gonna tell you how much I'm paying in rent. I'm paying $500 in rent every single month to this place. So now I'm having to, one, bring clients into here as well as keep up with my medical massage therapy clients. And so I've taken a lot of risks this year and I don't regret any of them. Yes, I'm scared. Yes, there's always a little bit of uncertainty where I'm like, oh my God, like I'm not making anything right. Like for example, today, I had a medical massage therapy client, but that client got sick, so I am not performing medical massage therapy today. So that's a client that I missed out on, and I don't have any regular clients, so today I'm not making any income. So it's another good idea to make sure that you find other sources of income, being one, online for me. So YouTube pays me to basically make content. And so that may be something you consider. Start selling something online, create worksheets, create something that you can generate passive income online while you do what you love to do. And so for me, that's medical massage therapy, regular massage therapy. I'm getting to do the things that I enjoy doing while also generating income in different sources. All right, so I'm getting ahead of myself because I know that I'm starting to go with my thought process. So let me get some coffee. So the pay is so much better. Now, I'm also working a lot harder because as an instructor, not very difficult, right? I'm just having to manage an entire classroom. For the most part, I'm sedentary, sitting down, which was another thing, is that now I'm noticing my health is improving because now I'm on the go, which I absolutely love. Medical massage therapy, especially if you're doing home visits, you're gonna be on the go. You're moving around. From the moment I get in my car, I'm going to my client's house. From that client's house, I'm going back to the studio so that I can chart that client's information, go back to my next client. Sometimes my clients are, I have one that's 30 minutes away from this city. I have one that's 40 minutes away from, well, I'll say about 15 minutes away from where I live. So I have clients all over, but for the most part, they're in this area, but I'm having to travel. That's where I'm getting at. So if you are the type of person that you enjoy getting to move around, between each client, I have an hour. I need an hour in between in case I want to go grab a taco or whatever. Run to the bathroom, come to the studio, run to the bathroom, do something, and then run to my client's house. And so that is one of the pros, and one of the things that I absolutely enjoy is being on the go and not staying stuck. For me, it's really tough to stay in one establishment for 8 hours a day or 4 hours a day. It gets old after a while. So if that's something that you perhaps may like, is being on the go, you may want to consider medical massage therapy and working for a home health company. All right, so another one of the pros and cons, many people will see this as a con, and that is the amount of paperwork that you're having to do. It is a lot. It is a whole lot. The very first thing I have to do before I even can start massaging my client is I have to go in and I have to do an evaluation, meaning that I have to assess and justify why this particular client would benefit from massage, right? So that means I have to do a range of emotion assessment. I have to create goals for this client. I have to write up basically what this client has, how they would benefit from massage therapy. Then I have to submit that. I would say that I'm getting a lot better at the evaluations. They're taking me about, when I first started, they took me about an hour, 2 hours just for one. Now I can get it done within an hour. Then you submit the evaluation. Now here's another one of the cons, is that evaluation is gonna take a while for them to approve. And one of my clients took about 5 to 6 months. Another one of my clients took about a month. And so it really just depends, I guess, on the home health or the insurance or whoever you're going through, whoever's approving it, it's gonna depend on how long it takes. But you're really gonna have to make sure that you're staying in communication with the team that you're working with, the home health company. You're gonna wanna stay in communication with them, whether that's through email, through telephone. Always stay in contact with them so that you are staying up to date. Ask them questions. Hey, how is that evaluation or that approval looking for so-and-so? All right, so that's one of the pros and cons. Cons being a lot of paperwork. Pro for me, because I don't mind paperwork. I like that stuff. I went to school for kinesiology, and then I went to school for business. And so I enjoy sitting at a computer and that's just one of my skills. And so another pro with doing that is, as I am learning, I am also creating a continuing education class for how to chart and how to track progress for medical massage therapy clients. So it's been a blessing to be able to do it and learn as I'm going, as well as knowing in the future I will teach it. And I would imagine next year, maybe towards the beginning or the middle of next year, I will have that class out. So that's something I am looking forward to, and my growth as a medical massage therapist, as well as a instructor and continuing education provider. Now, once that client is approved, you can start treatment with them. Meaning, let's say they're approved every single week, one visit a week. And so let's say you do every single Monday. And so every Monday, like clockwork, you would go see your client. After you see your client, you remember the SOAP notes, right? In school, you have to do SOAP notes or progress notes. You have to say, okay, so here's my goals, here's the client's goals, here's my goals as a therapist. How did what I do during treatment get me to those goals? Was I able to get them there? Did I make any progress? Was there any improvements? Was there any declines? How much of an improvement did you make? How much did an improvement the client make? How much of a decline did the client make? And so you're having to chart all of that information after you do the massage. And so that may be the part where it's kind of maybe a turnoff for therapists who just want a basic massage, for their clients. They just want a massage and they don't want to have to deal with so much paperwork. Perhaps that may not be for you if that's already something you're like, yeah, no, I don't want to do it. But if that does not turn you off and you're like, yeah, that kind of sounds cool, I would like to learn how to do that, you may want to consider doing medical massage therapy. And so that you do chart or learn to chart for your clients. Now, I'm also getting ahead of myself, so I'm gonna take a drink of coffee. I'm almost done. Now, it is not entirely difficult to learn to chart. I do have some experience on me, and so I will say that I have been blessed. I did get my bachelor's in kinesiology. I got my master's in business administration. I told you before I was in the healthcare field, outpatient and then inpatient. And so a lot of the terminology I know, but that should not scare you. You, as a massage therapist, and you went to school for it, and even if you didn't do so well in school, you can still learn it. And that's my goal, is to help massage therapists learn it. That's why I'm creating a class, or a CEU class, for charting, documentation, and progress tracking. And so I have to be honest, I absolutely love it. I'm also excited. Here's another praise report, is in this year coming. So I'm already at the end of the year 2023. 2024, I expect to hire my first massage therapist underneath me for, medical massage therapy, which I am excited for because it'll give me some help. And so I will be responsible for helping them learn how to chart. I would be responsible for submitting all that information and making sure it gets to the home health company. But also I would have another therapist who can help me. For example, This week I got sick. I was so sick on the beginning of this week. I was terribly, terribly sick. We won't talk about that too much. But I remember thinking, how nice would it have been to call up the therapist who helps me and say, hey, I cannot make it to these medical massage therapy clients. Can you make it? And for them to say, yeah, I can make it, or no, I can't make it. And so that is something that I absolutely look forward to, is hiring some help. Now, another pro or con, I don't know, it depends on the individual, is that all of the communication is going through you as a medical massage therapist, meaning the home health company is going to call me and they're going to say, hey, do you want to take on this client? And I'm going to say, yeah, absolutely, right? I need more clients. And so let's say hypothetically that this client's name is Jim. And so now they're going to send me Jim's information. Jim is going to come through my email or whatever source that you get your information, all his client information. I am going to then have to call Jim, and I'm going to have to say, hey, Jim, I just got your information. I'm with this company and I need to schedule you for an evaluation. And so then I'm going to have to work out a good time and day for Jim. And so where I'm getting at with that is I am having to do the communication. It's not the home health company, right? They're going to let them know. They're going to communicate as the home health company and say, hey, we do have this therapist. We'll reach out and they'll get in contact with you. I am the one that's doing the contact with the client. So for example, if I'm sick, like I was at the beginning of the week, I'm having to call and I'm having to text the client and say, hey, unfortunately, I am terribly, terribly sick and I won't be able to make it. Can you please forgive me? Thank you for understanding. So that's something else that may be a pro or maybe a con for you as a medical massage therapist. For me, I absolutely think it's a pro, because I'm not, okay, so as a instructor, that class is still happening, right? And so I'm having to find someone to cover me if I am not able to make it in. As a medical massage therapist, I don't have to find anybody to cover me. I just have to write that down as a missed visit. And so that's something that I do appreciate, is kind of being in charge of my own schedule. I don't have to necessarily find somebody else to cover me. I don't have to necessarily call into work and say, hey, I can't make it. No, I just have to let the client know, hey, I'm terribly sick. I won't be able to make it. Now, here's another cool, interesting thing is, just because that client is on Monday doesn't necessarily mean I can't see them on Friday. And so let's say I'm better by Friday and the client's up to it and I say, hey, I'm feeling a lot better. Can I see you on Friday? And their game, then I can absolutely see them on Friday as long as it meets that week deadline. And so that's something you're going to definitely have to check out with your home health company and make sure that you're in compliance with their rules or regulations and your state's rules and regulations, or however it works out for you. Let's see, what else? I feel like I'm just throwing out so much. There was really no plan other than to make a 6-month update on what it's like to be a medical massage therapist, because I know that a lot of you are curious on where there is growth. I know that I absolutely was. I'm like, man, I like a lot of growth. I want to reach as high as I can and get as high as I can. And so I knew that this opportunity would help me achieve that. And it really has. This year, 2023, has been crazy because I have let go of a lot. One being that job, or anything that was no longer serving me and that I did not want to do. And what's crazy is it's made room for the things that I do want to do. And what's also crazy is I've had a goal to launch my first continuing education class, which I did when I resigned from that position. I had a little bit of a break in between. And during that break, which took me about a month and a half, I was on the computer typing out my class to help massage therapists who want to become instructors. And so it's really interesting. If you feel stuck, if you feel like there's no growth, bear in mind that there is. because you may not see it, right? I felt stuck at the beginning of 2023, probably some of 2022 as well. I felt really stuck, but what I didn't realize is that there was growth taking place underneath the surface. So my roots were spreading out, right? And just because I didn't see any growth happening above the surface doesn't necessarily mean that it was not happening. It was. Fast forward to these opportunities that are opening up and this path that I've taken, I'm starting to see the little seedlings popping out of the ground. And they're not massive plants or massive trees, but they do feel good, and I'm still watering them, right? And I'm having to be patient, and I'm having to wait for that growth. I'm having to wait for it to blossom and to see where it takes me and what happens. And I'm super excited that you are tuning into me, and if you stayed this long, I appreciate you. Seriously, I seriously do appreciate you for hearing me out. Wow, it really is an honor. I don't think that I realize it, the effect that I'm having, or the people who really watch me. I know that you leave me comments and I get emails and you tell me thank you and you're grateful, but there's another side of that token. I am also so grateful for you because you give me the opportunity to express myself, to hopefully inspire you. I think that's the biggest thing here is I want to inspire. I still want to teach. I love to teach. And so I want to say thank you so much. I think that I'm going to get off of here and finish the rest of my coffee, maybe pour me one more cup of coffee, and then I'm going to go to a birthday lunch. And so that is what I'm fixing to do. I seriously appreciate you. And if you have any questions, anything medical massage therapy related, or perhaps you are still pursuing passing the NBLEX, because I know a majority of my audience are studying for the NBLEX, and that's the hurdle they're trying to get over. Do not give up. You can definitely do it. There is something that I do want to say, and this will be my last thought before I get off of here, because I do got to go. I can do my part as a content creator, right? I have amples of resources and videos and worksheets, study guides, practice exams. I have so much that I've made on Patreon, Etsy. I can do my part, but the biggest thing is you have to do your part. So you have to put in that effort. You're gonna have to buckle down, and you're gonna have to take the time that's necessary and really focus so that you can overcome that hurdle, so you can fly right over it, right? And even if you take it and you fail it again, or you fail it for the first time, don't be hard on yourself, because none of us get it right the first time. When I first applied to college, I was rejected. They said, sorry to inform you, you're rejected. And this is straight out of high school. That stung. And so I know the sting of rejection. It hurts, right? But I didn't give up. And so that would be my encouragement to you. Don't give up. But there's another piece to that. I could keep saying that, right? And we can keep wishing and saying, please, I want to pass. Here's the thing, is when I got that rejection, I went back. I went right back to the resource, my high school, and I said, hey, I need recommendation letters. So I went to different teachers. And then I went and I appealed it, meaning I wrote up a letter and said, this is why you want me. Here are some recommendation letters to tell you why you want me. Here are some people who can vouch for me and say that I'll do really good as a college student. Basically, I went back and I put in the effort. You're gonna have to put in the effort. You're gonna have to dive back into your textbooks. You're gonna have to dive back into your notes. maybe dive back into Patreon or my worksheets and learn that information, because you're gonna have to take control of your destiny, your life, whatever it is you want to do. You can absolutely do it. All right. And so that's where I want to leave it off. I know I went like this and I'm sorry for that, but I guess I just needed to get it all out. Anyways, I'll let y'all go. Y'all have a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you in the next video. Y'all take care.